So in crypto, we have these crazy booms and busts, right? And when everything busts. Like 2022 was really bad. And so even for me, I was a big Luna holder. I had like 7 million that turned into $5 in 2 days. And so when something like that happens, and I have some friends, like one who had 250 mil turned into like probably $500. When things like that happen, I mean, obviously you feel fucking stupid and you start to wonder like, hey, like, was it all just luck? All my businesses, all my investing, all that. So you need to kind of feel the pain, right? But there is something that's really important when you're about to kind of like leave or abandon to understand. It's kind of the concept. John Adams said, every problem is an opportunity in disguise. You said every problem is an opportunity, and opportunity is there all the time. Can you give me an inspiring example of a moment in your life where you thought that things were over for you, but then you doubled down on working your ass off, and later on, in hindsight, realize that in pain and problems lie the biggest opportunities?
I remember when I was poor, in the pocket, not the mind. I went into a Walmart and I had to call my bank because my bank account had overdrafted by $16 in order to buy groceries. And it was the lowest time in my life because I felt ashamed that I couldn't even afford groceries. And at that time, I could have gotten a regular job. At that time, I could have said, fuck this shit, I'm going to quit. I could have said, oh, this is another person's fault. But I looked at that situation and I said, I never want to experience this ever again. And the first thing that I did was buy the book, Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. And I said, I'm going to learn about the markets. And ever since then, it's been an upside. And it was that situation that made me feel disgusted with my current living conditions that instead of complaining, led me to change. And, you know, I would be in the bus. I would take the bus for about an hour to work, and then I would take the train for about another hour. And every single day, just learning the basics of psychology of trading. I don't do technical analysis. I'm purely a value-based investor, and I bet on people, right? So if you look at my investment plays, it's me betting on people, dude. I don't take credit for anything. I don't take credit for any sort of investment that I make. I just bet on winning horses, and sometimes they play off. So I bet on CZ, I bet on Luca, I bet on Mark Zuckerberg, and they don't disappoint.
So in those really hard moments, it's how do you take the pain and turn it into fire in the belly, basically?
You don't have a choice, bro. When you're at the bottom, what do you have to lose? When you have nothing to lose, you have nothing to lose. How much? Like how many? You're gonna live 80 years of your life. How many years of that life are you gonna live broke? I want to experience wealth. I want to experience the good life. Now, I've already experienced this side of reality, the shitty stuff, having to eat ramen noodles, sleeping on couches, sleeping in my car, pressure washing basketball courts, cleaning toilets. I've done this shit. I don't want to do it for the rest of my life. I experienced it. I'm grateful for it. I'm thankful that life gave me the opportunity to learn these things. But it doesn't mean that that's what I want to live for the rest of my life. So it's not, oh, me, poor me, dude. My life has been just blessings on blessings on blessings. I'm glad I wasn't born in some country in the middle of Africa or in the Congo where I have to mine lithium out of the ground, or that I'm getting bombed in the middle of nowhere because of my beliefs, or because the United States decided that they wanted to free my country, right? So just the fact that I have the opportunity to wake up, I'm healthy, it's a blessing. And I think that the fundamental shift is two things. One is a good attitude. Wherever you see productivity, you're going to see a person with a good attitude. And the second one is gratitude. Being super grateful for what I have. When you're grateful, life is going to continue blessing you. When you're ungrateful, when you are selfish, when you are blaming others, when you're negative, pessimistic, life will simply project what you give it. So I wanted to be positive, and I always believed in myself, and it worked out.
And in those moments that are really hard, actually, that's when you kind of, because as you said, you don't have the choice. That's when you're actually the best, like
Yes.
the better version of yourself. Because I'm not sure about the expression in English, but in French we say you basically
Say it in French.
le dos au mur. You have basically your back against the wall, right? Which means you have no other option. And so when you have no other option, because there is no other option, you make it work. And that's why I really encourage my friends who are like, hey, I have this job, but I want to start this company. Just take the leap. Because when you take the leap, you have no other option. Like as long as you keep your job and you have this money coming in, like you have the option, right, of failure. Whereas when you start, it's like, okay, now we always say take the leap and the net will appear. You have to build your plane while you're falling, right? Otherwise, you're going to crash on the floor. And it's really in those moments that the best shit happens. In those moments that you turn these really bad moments and where the opportunity, where the problem is an opportunity in disguise. It's exactly that.
And you know, I was talking with the former president, the son of the former president of Singapore, last name Ong, and obviously he comes from wealth. He comes from a family that has been able to really educate him. And he said every problem is an opportunity. And it's how you see the situation that determines the action that you're going to attach to it. Are you going to see a problem and be like, well, I can't change? Or are you going to see it and be like, I can do something about it? Where there's problems, there's profit. And where there's problems, there's business. And if you can identify that, you can make a whole lot of money.
We talk about business, making a lot of money. Obviously, we need to talk about women. Because you have really interesting takes on women. So the first question is, in relation to making money, are women a hindrance for men to become rich?
The wrong woman, yes. The right woman will empower you. She will fuel you, she will inspire you, and she will push you towards becoming a better version of yourself. I've only been with one woman my entire life. I'm still with her. Been over 10 years. She was with me when I had nothing. She would drive me to work. I had no car. So when I started having things, or, you know, I got everything that I wanted and I became somebody, how could I let her go? You know, so she believed in me. She trusted me when I had nothing, and she valued me when I was poor and insignificant. And now that I've achieved some sort of success in some way, shape, or form, it's only fair that I bring her along for the journey. So my perspective is very simple. Find individuals that will empower you. And if you can find a partner that loves you for who you are, but also empowers you to become a better version of yourself, stick close to that person, be loyal, be honest, be kind, be authentic, and keep those people around, because there's not too many people in life that are going to want the best for you. And if you can't find a good woman, if you can't find a good partner, it's usually a reflection of you, because you attract people. And if you attract poor people, well, it's most likely a condition of you. If you attract hoes, it's most likely a reflection of you. So if you need to, or you can't find somebody of high caliber, of high quality that polishes you, stay away from it. It's funny. I was going back to Meow. He was like, he was asking me today, he's like, should I be dating a ton of girls? I'm like, no, just like find one person that just empowers you and elevates you, and stick true to that individual. Now, it's different philosophies for different people. Anybody can do whatever they want. But for me, it worked out extremely well. And it all comes down, and I'm not married, but it all comes down by one thesis. There's a verse in the Bible that says, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. Not he that findeth a woman that has the potential to be a good wife, but he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and finds pleasure, or finds honor in the eyes of God. So you also begin to study wise men throughout history, and most of them were corrupted by women. So I understand how tempting it can be, But I also understand that if you find people that can empower you, it can take you to the top.
So what was your advice to Mew? Because especially in today's world, and that's something that Andrew talks about, which is as a man, right? The game is very different. As a woman, you can, I wouldn't say as a woman, the dating game is easier. It's much easier to get the guys you want, but then it's not easy to keep them and to see who is full of shit or who is really serious, right? As a man, it's kind of harder because most of the women, they go for the top, 5% or 10%, 1% men. And so for a man, it's more about how you build kind of respect, right? How do you build your personal brand and how do you build your life so that women respect you and you attract them instead of the opposite, having to chase them?
I agree.
Especially if you're building things, you don't have time to date like crazy. It's impossible. Like,
yeah,
it's
I agree.
just that it's a job in itself. Just dating around.
Yeah, I mean, it's imagine you have to entertain 10 women. Like that's a lot of maintenance. It's like having to entertain 10 multiple different things. It can be for you. Like if you can handle it, so be it. If that's what your cup of tea, that's when you enjoy it, perfect. But for me, it's not an ethos that I've operated or that I've enjoyed. And I've talked to Andrew about it. We haven't talked in a while, but I've talked to him about it. I was like, hey, when are you going to settle with one girl? And we chuckled about it. We laughed about it when I was out in Romania. But yeah, he has a different perspective about it. It's totally fair. He's become highly successful with his philosophy of life. So mine just is a little bit different, but to each their own.